All we got is groceries. We're just coming from Walmart. So what's this issue? And the other officer was like, yeah, these three black men, we're going to figure out what kind of drug dealing they got going on. Then next thing you know, a few minutes later, undercover vehicles coming out of nowhere and helicopter. Do you hear me now? I grew up in Immokalee, Florida, and most people don't know that is one of the poorest city just here in Florida and maybe around the world. Immokalee is a migrant town, agriculture, where you get a lot of migrant workers. And my mother was a migrant worker. My father worked as a migrant worker as well. And just growing up in Immokalee was, for me, when I look back at it now, it was pretty interesting. I remember there were times where our light would be cut off for probably like a week, and my mother would still try to make ends meet. And you don't really realize how much of that in that moment growing up in Immokalee was like, wow, I really grew up poor, but it didn't feel poor because my mother instilled something in us. My first time I experienced racism was not in Immokalee. My first time I experienced racism is when I came to Orlando. So we were in the Cadillac coming from Walmart, getting groceries, and police pulled us over saying that we ran a red light, and we were like, no, that's a green light. Then next thing you know, a few minutes later, undercover vehicles coming out of nowhere and helicopter. They all pull us out of the car. We're like, well, what's the point? And one of the officers was like, just shut up and get out of the car and get to the back of the vehicle. We're like, well, what happened? I mean, what's the probable cause? What's the situation here? And then you hear the other cop on the radio, we got 3 black men right now. These could be the possible suspects for coming out of the Walmart parking lot. And we're like, we just got some groceries. They were like, well, we need to search your car. And we're like, what do you mean you need to search the car? What's the probable cause? And the other officer was like, yeah, these 3 black men, we're gonna figure out what kind of drug dealing they got going on. One of my cousins was like, yeah, y'all can search the car. Me and my other cousin was like, no, y'all can't search the car. All we got is groceries. We're just coming from Walmart. So what's this issue? So when you look at that situation, you start thinking to yourself, even when you look back now, it's like, whoa. This is what we actually dealt with, And for me, it just really turned the pages in my life to make me realize to always be cautious, to always be aware, because no matter what you do here in America, being black is literally one of the toughest things that you gotta deal with, because the challenges are some people take power into their own hand because they feel a certain type of way. Fast forwarding till today, I remember working, I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but I was sales, and I went out to a call, right? I closed the deal on the phone, went to the lady house. And when I got there, I knocked, she didn't answer. I knocked again, she didn't answer. I called her, I said, such and such, I'm here, close, you wanted this, and I'm here in front of your door. And the whole time I'm knocking, she's looking outside through her window. And then on the phone, she's like, oh, I didn't realize that you look like that. And in my mind, I'm like, what do you mean? Because my voice didn't sound like I was black over the phone. And she never opened the door. Some people do think that when a black person goes into your house, they're either gonna steal something or do something to you. And you can definitely see the fear in the lady eyes through the window, like, ma'am, I just got off the phone with you, and now you're not even opening your door. So I didn't even budge to pursue the sale or anything. And it's just interesting at that moment. I always told myself, like working door to door, people used to always ask me, why do you wear a suit? Because I used to tell some of the salespeople, I said, because of your skin color, you might get in with your shorts. Because you used to have people who wear shorts. They just go out and door knock. For me, I had to wear a suit because there was layers and layers of things that I had to get through just to get into the person's house, depending on what house I was walking into that day, So I was very aware of the challenges that I had to face as a salesperson being black. There are many people out there who may struggle in the area of understanding what it means to build a relationship with Black content. And the reason I say Black content, because we're all in different colors. Whether you're brown skin, black skin, dark skin, African American, you're Black. You know, my advice or what I would share with that person is love has no color and love has no boundary. You know, I think this is the time where, you know, you should really focus on building a relationship with someone, carrying a conversation, because behind every skin, there's a story. And behind every story, there's an experience. And behind every experience, there is a person who is created to not only bring change to the world, but to help you understand and give you a different perspective on life itself.